Okay, so in response to that article, a couple of things came to my mind, and among them was the idea that when the article says that it's basically allocating responsibility for when sexual sins outside of marriage are happening, whether it's the man's fault, as the man is always viewed as the guy who's out of control, and one of the apostles and elders of the church was addressed that as just being untrue, and then the man should absolutely take responsibility. So when it comes down to it, Heavenly Father is always going to, well, this is just my perspective, my thoughts that are formulated from this. Heavenly Father is always going to judge both individuals for taking part of it. And since we've, such a complicated issue doesn't really have a simple answer. It never does. But in this regard, we happen to have the word of the Lord through apostles and prophets. So adhering to the standard of the church seems to be, to me, just what we'd do. And then all other transgressions and sins that come about, really you can't just allocate the blame to the way someone dresses. It's usually a mixture of the intense feelings that come up and before marriage, and lust, and all sorts of things like that. So I think if we were to, I remember seeing a little cartoon image of a Muslim woman who's wearing a burqa. She's covered from head to toe, and then there's a Western blonde woman wearing a bikini, and they both share the same thought bubble. They both say, you know, they say what a shame it would be to live in such a male-dominated world where they have no rights. So the woman in the burqa is saying that about the woman who chooses to wear a bikini. And the woman in the bikini is saying that about the woman who doesn't have the right to do that. And so the woman in the burqa is obviously thinking, well, she's doing that to impress males, and I mean, it's because it's a hideously male-dominated society. So in this regard, I feel like, you know, there's no, as I said, simple issue. I think that women should be encouraged to. I think the idea that women being more modest doesn't give credence to the idea that that is exactly the cause of things. I think by women dressing more modestly, we're not more likely to basically sin. It's definitely an antecedent for these things to occur, but it's not the prime cause. It's not a cause and effect relationship. It's definitely something that would have a correlation. So in that regard, I think that dressing modestly is a positive aspect in basically every way in regards to sin. The male is responsible, but the female is too. And the chances are, if you dress better, you're less likely to attract people who are going to break the law of chastity. And more modest dress is basically going to be found in people who are, well, as the apostle said, you know, you dress for the woman or the man that you are going to be with. So that's an apostle's. It's logical, and it's an apostle's word. So I take that for what it's worth. I take that at face value. And yeah, they're my thoughts on the article.